Hello, and how are you? I welcome you to our third lecture, first session, or what you can call part 5 of learning how to create Flutter applications. You remember we started with the introduction to that programming, and now we went ahead and started Flutter, and in the previous lecture we were able to create a Flutter application successfully that looked like this one. So I hope everyone has tried it out. If you haven't, then you should, because this is much more practical, and I wouldn't wish you to be among the people who complete the course without understanding actually how to do things. So it's a hands-on thing. You have to try everything that I teach you, even going beyond what I've taught you. Yeah, that's how you can become a better programmer. So in today's lecture, we're going to resume from the previous lecture, and I remember we're able to do something like this. So today we're going to look at different things in Flutter. So before we go even straight into Flutter programming, I would like us to first understand how Flutter things are organized. First of all, how Flutter structure or files are organized, or how a project of a Flutter is organized in terms of files. And then after, we look at how the code of Flutter is organized, its real structure, and then also understand how we can be able to add our own code. So that's literally what we're going to do in this lecture, and then if time allows, shall go ahead and start implementing different things. So I request each one of you to be very attentive, because this is like the real root of everything that we're going to be doing. We're going to be building from what we're going to teach today. All right, so with that message, let me go straight. Let me first see if my internet is working. It's working. Let me go straight into our today's business and get started. But let me confirm that you people can hear me one more time, because I don't want to teach myself.
Loud and clear.
All right, that's good. So let's all be attentive, just 40 minutes, and then shall have a break. So let's just use this time to be very attentive. So as that said, just a second. As that said, just a second. All right, so now let us look at how Flutter is organized, the structure of files. So shall begin with structure of files. So I'll come here and say open, and then say go in the Finder. So this is like where the project is exactly stored, or where it is located. So if I go to my project, I'm going to explain here most important folders that I think everyone must know about. So first of all, let's look at the folders. So this is called Android folder. So this Android folder, as I told you, that Flutter can support multiple platforms. So the code of Android will be stored in this Android folder. And then this build folder, it is where our application will be storing the generated data. So we don't need this build folder to add it in our repository. So this is the build folder where the data that will be generated will be saved. Okay. Then this is for iOS. So this is where the iOS code will be generated and saved. and then we have lib. So lib is now our real code. So we shall not be working with these other folders where we shall be putting all our energy, or where we shall be putting the code is in this folder called lib. That is where we shall be putting everything that shall be working. And then it will be the task of Flutter to generate the code that is relevant for Android, iOS, and the rest. So our energy will be just here only in this folder called what? Called lib. That is where we shall be putting almost everything of the project. Then you have macOS. macOS is Mac operating system, is where the data, the code of Mac operating system will be saved after being generated by Flutter. Then we have web. It is the folder where the web code will be generated, as well as Windows. However, these folders, most of their things will be generated by Flutter itself. As I've said, all our energy will be for concentrating on this folder called lib. That is where we shall be putting all our coding things. And then, just a second. Sorry about that. So now I'll have then different files. So other important files that we shall be working with is so other important file that we shall be working with is pubspec.yaml. So pubspec.yaml, it is where we shall be putting our what? We shall be putting our this is where we shall be putting our what? This is where we shall be putting our packages and also the configuration of the application. So here, in brief, the most two important folders shall be working with, it is this lib and then this file of pubspec.yaml, and also maybe Android to configure a few things, but the rest will be generated. All our code will be in this lib folder, and then pubspec.yaml is the file that shall be putting our configuration. Then shall have maybe one more folder called assets. So the folder of asset, it is where we shall be keeping our files, all the assets. Yeah, so that's how our Flutter project is organized, and that's how things are. So all the things that shall be building or generating will be coming in this folder of what? Of build. So after understanding the structure of how the code of Flutter is organized, of Flutter project is organized, we can now proceed to the to the real code now. These are the files. Now let us proceed now to the code and see how code is organized. So here is our project that we created in the previous lecture, whereby we were able to increase like this, and then we were able to come up with this kind of this kind of a project, or this kind of file. So now here I'm going to explain to you how the code is related to each other. Okay, I'm going to explain to you how the code is related to each other. Now, first things first, as I've told you, so the folder that we've just explored, they are here, but as I've told you, the most energy, the most place where we shall put our energy, or the folder where we shall be putting all our code, is this lib folder. So in this lib folder, you'll find there a file called main.dat. So main.dat is the real project, where the project will be will be starting from in the main folder. So if you still remember, when we were practicing dat programming, we had a main function, and we said that main function is the one that is being called when when the application starts running. So this is the main folder, and we have here main function, and you can see it is calling this class called my app. So it's creating the instance of my app. So my app is now the real project. So I'm going to explain some things, and other things we shall learn them along the way. So the project will always begin in this main folder, in this project called my app. Okay, it will be calling this file called my app. So my app is a screen, or the user interface that you can see here, and it is just a class that we can define. Even you can define your own. Okay, and it is extending a stateless widget. Okay. So we're going to understand what is made by stateless widget and what's made by stateful widget. Okay, whoever it is just a class. So once you extend stateless widget and stateful widget, you'll have what we call a build. So this build, it is where now the user interface will be located, okay, or where the project will be located. And then the system will be returning what you'll have built here, and that's what the user will be seeing on their screen. I'm going to explain them. Don't worry, even if you like fail to get to understand what exactly they mean, but I'm going to explain everything here. So now, so I have here material app. So material app is a class built by Flutter that helps us to give the structure of of the system. Okay, it helps us to give us the structure of the system. And then in this material app, it has different parameters that we can pass. Among them is a theme. So a theme is what? A theme is a design of the entire design of the project. So if you want this app bar to have a certain color, if you want to define different things to have different colors, standard colors, you can define them at once, just like how you can do your web project and then you write the CSS at once, and then you'll be calling it in different files. So this is why we do that. So you write this theme and then you define their different things. You can define it even when it is there, you can define it separately. And then you have the home. So the home is where now we have the real project. So to avoid confusion, I can delete everything here. That you see, and then we create our own project, or create our own file that we can simply understand. So in Flutter, everything that we'll be seeing on a screen, we call them screens. Others call them pages, or you can as well call them screens. So the way you organize your project actually matters. Otherwise, if you don't organize your project properly, then you'll not have when your project scales up, when your project grows, then you shall face challenges of having we shall face the organization problem, like knowing what to fix. Knowing which code is where, or maybe even having the structure the structural challenge. So what you're going to do, we're going to create different folders, and in those folders shall be putting different relevant files in them. So here, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a folder called screens. So everything about screens, we shall be putting it in that folder, or everything that about the layout that the user will be interfacing with, shall be putting it in that folder. So I'll come here in our lib project, and then I'll create here a new directory. So right click on the lib and then say new and say directory. So I'm going to put here a screens folder. So that is the folder that I've just added there. I've called it screens. So in this screen folder, I'm going to create our first screen that we are going to see on the menu. So I shall just simply come here on the new and then say file, new file, and then this new file, I just simply come to a folder of screens and say new and then say new file. So this new file, I'm going to give it a name. So I can call it main_menu.dat. All right. So always remember to put the extension of .dat, because it's that code that you're going to write in this. So I'm going to create here our main menu. So that is where shall be having like the main home. You can call it anything that you want. Me, I'm calling it the main menu. I can call it home page. I can call it home screen, whatever you want. So let me call it main menu, like that. So now I want to start everything from scratch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create what we call a stateless widget. Okay, a stateless widget. A stateless widget is a widget that will be created only once and will not be changing things dynamically. Whereby a stateful widget is a widget that you can create, and then it will be able to update things in this screen dynamically, even when the user is using the application. So if you have something that you think you're not going to need the user to change, you can create a stateless widget for that screen. For example, let's say that you're creating the About Us page. About Us page is just presenting the information about the project or about the company. So you're not going to expect the user to edit it or to have some changes there. So in that case, you can create what you call a stateless widget, because it's not going to have changes. But if you create something like a form where you expect the user will enter something and you validate and then give feedback, so it is going to be changing when the system is being used. So there you create what you call a stateful widget. So to create a stateful screen or a stateless widget screen is very simple. So you can just simply say stateless like this. So if you write stateless, stless like this, the system, I mean the Android Studio or the edit that you're using will suggest for you. Okay, so it can be stateful widget. I'm going to select stateless widget. So I'm in my my directory of what? Of main menu. I'm in my file of main menu. So I'll go ahead and press enter. So they'll give me a place where I can write here the name. So before it leaves it, I'm going to write there the name of my screen. So it is going to be a class. Remember, it is a class. So a class should begin with what? With a capital letter. So I'll put there my main menu like this. Okay, main menu. So that is our screen. So you can see things are still crying. I still have some errors that are warning. So this is because I've not imported the relevant files. So let me go ahead and report the relevant files with the function that are going to help me. So I just simply click here. I click here on stateless widget, and then I say show context, and then I'll be able to see import. So I'm going to go ahead and say import material app. So when I do so, let me remove this constant. Okay, so I have to put this main menu here, so you can have this same name as same name here. So by doing so, we shall be having our simple application. However, this application is having so you see here it has build, and then here it is where we are returning what we want to show on the screen. So instead of returning this, you see here we have a few things, and they are straightforward. They can be understandable if you can look at it. So I'm going now to return here our main app, okay, or the main mother application for everything. Okay, so we're going to return here what we call material app. So I'll come and remove this constant and put return material app, and then close here. So as we learn, it says that material app takes different things. It can take things like title. So title is going to be the name of the project. Okay, so I'll put main menu. It can take things like the theme. Okay, so how do you want your application to look like? So you go ahead and say theme, and then you say theme data. You open theme data like this, and then you can go ahead and define the color scheme. You can go ahead and define the, for example, app bar theme, and then you say app bar theme, and then you give it, for example, the app bar theme color, the background color, how you want it to look like. You can give, for example, the text styling of the app bar content. Okay, so you can go ahead and put text style, and then you can do what? You can pass different things that you want to pass in this text style. Alright, so you can pause the video and see how I've done that. It is really simple and straightforward. So I've created our simple material app. I can go ahead and collapse this theme menu. So here next to it, I can now go ahead and put what I want to show on the screen. Okay, what I want to show on the screen. So to display what I want to show on the screen, you just simply say home. Okay, home. Okay, like this. And then in this home, I'm going to put here a text and say my simple app. All right, like this. So this is what is going to be doing what to be shown on the screen. So I'll go ahead and save. So you can see there is nothing that is happening because I've not made this to execute. Members, I hope you're following. You open your microphone and respond. Are you following, or I'm here alone? Eddie, are you there?
Yes, sir, we are following.
You're following, yeah? All right. Okay, that's good if you're following. That's good, guys. Don't worry, we're going to have a break, eh? So let's focus, and then we shall have a break. Very soon, I'm going to have a break in a few minutes. So let's focus, and then we have a break, and then after we can practice on our own. So you can see now, you can see this application. I mean, this it's not displaying on the screen. Why? Because I'm not making it to execute. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this dummy code that came with Flutter. So I come here to main, and I delete everything that came with Flutter. I just delete all these. Let me delete all of them. Okay, so we can do everything by ourselves and see see how we understand things. Okay, so let me select everything. So I'll just simply collapse this guy and collapse this guy, and I'm going to delete all these. All right, so when I delete this, so you see we're having only run app. So in this run app, I'm going to remove this run app, and I put the application that I've just created here. Okay, this screen. So here in the main, I'm going to say it should run my main menu. So I'll go ahead and import it by pressing Alt and Enter, and then I'll go ahead, it will be imported in that way. So you see, our main menu has been imported. So I need to restart my application. All right, so let's wait. So you can see now how the application is not even confusing right now. Let me delete this test thing. I can delete this test widget, I don't need it. All right, so let's run the application. So you can see how it is very simple, straightforward. I'm going to explain it. So you see here our main menu, and our main, which is just 3 lines, and this main is importing this main menu, and this main menu we have built it together, and you've seen how I've come to it. So you can see our application is there with the word My Simple App on top. So that shows that we have understood how a Flutter app can be structured. You pause the video and look at it very carefully. So you have the title, you have the theme that you want, however these are optional, and then you have here the home. Okay, so the home is a place we are going to be putting, and they are all surrounded by material. So the home is a place where we're going to be putting your content that you want to see on the screen. For example, you see here I returned what we call a text, and I put just simple word my simple app, and it's what we're going to see here. So here this becomes very hard for us. So I hope we have understood up that level. So we are still having a challenge. For example, we have to have that color to be blue. To be having it has to look like a normal application. On top here, it should be having an app bar. It should be having a background color of white by default. It's having the text should be black by default, something like that. So application should look like a real application. Okay, so if we want to do that by ourselves, it can become so much complex. So Flutter gives us a widget, or it gives us a feature that can help us structure application to be like a common mobile application. So that widget is called scaffold. So scaffold is the one that will be giving the shape of our screens. Okay, so what you're going to do here, we're going to create a scaffold, and then you see what's going to happen if you add a scaffold. So I'll come here to home, and then remove this home content, and then I go ahead and create something called scaffold. I just add this scaffold. So if I just save even before I add anything in the scaffold, and I save, so you'll see that the application is now automatically getting shape. It's having a white background color, and then the app bar is well separated, and you can be able to do what? See that the app bar stops here. So that is the power of scaffold. Scaffold gives us a structure of of a mobile application. So if you have interfaced with it and you don't know what it meant, that's what it does. It meant. So this scaffold takes also different parameters that you might need now to display on your screen, and also formatting it. If you want to see different parameters that this scaffold takes, you can press Ctrl and hold it, and then click on on the name. So if I click on this scaffold, I've pressed Ctrl and I've held it, and then I click on scaffold. So here I can be able to see different parameters that I can possibly I can possibly pass in the scaffold. We have app bar, we have body, we have floating, action button, and so many, drawer. So all those things can be passed to the scaffold. So what we're going to do, we're going to begin, for example, by passing our app bar and see how it's going to look like. So I'll come back to our code of the main menu, okay, in the main menu, and then we're going to put here what we call app bar. So in this app bar, it takes app bar class, so I just write app bar in capital letter, beginning with capital letter, and then this app bar is going to take different things. For example, it's going to take the title, so you just simply put title. So this title is going to take a widget. So widget is a component of Flutter, is a component of user interface of a Flutter. Okay, that's how simple I can define. So if you hear me widget, I'm just meaning a user interface component of what? Of Flutter. So let me go ahead and just simply say app bar, and then here in app bar I can go ahead and create a what? And create text like this, and then after I can go ahead and pass there what I want to be displayed in the app bar. So I can just go ahead and pass main menu like this. Okay, so if I save, you can see our app bar is getting a structure. It's having the color that we formatted in the theme, and also it is having the text that we have done what? That we have defined as a what? As the title. So that is how we structure our application. Okay, so you can go ahead and add more parameters as I've told you. If you want to format it more, just press enter and then press on whatever class that you want to pass. So you can see app bar, it is taking, it's leading, it is taking the title, it is taking actions. So all those things are being accepted by the app bar. So if you want to learn more, you can just simply click on it and then you'll be able to see what is actually being required there. So let me go back to my main menu. So in this main menu, I can, for example, add an icon here in front. So if I want to add an icon here in front of app bar, just simply to come app bar and I call what we call leading. Okay, so in the leading, I just simply pass icon class and then I say icons dot menu. So by doing so, I'll have that kind of what? Of app bar. For example, if I want to change this icon to be having a white color, I can just simply click here and just say color of the white icon is what? Is white. Alright, so you can see now we have our what? Our simple app. Okay, we have our simple application, and you can see how things are related to each other. So that's we call it leading in the app bar. There's another one called trailing. So if you go ahead and practice more, you'll be able to understand all these things that I'm doing. What I'm trying to. So I can go ahead and put something called trailing. So trailing, for it takes the other side. Okay. All right. So with that much said, let's go ahead and proceed. I can press here at and enter to make this one a constant, or to get the recommendations. So now we're going now to proceed with the application. Now how do you access? So this was app bar. Now how do you access this area where we're going to put now the real content? So to access that area, of course, again, we shall go back to what? To the scaffold level, to scaffold here, and then go ahead and put what we call home. What we call body. So the body is where we're going to put now the real what? The real content. So I can put here, for example, text, and then say my simple body data, and then I save. So you can see that it was beautiful. It went ahead and created this text, and you can see it here, which is called my simple body data 1. So that is how we define the content to be in the what? In the scaffold. So we're going to do different things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create here a column. So in Flutter, we have different types of widget. I've already explained what's meant by widget. A user interface, a Flutter's user interface, what we call widget. So now we have different types of widget. We have single child widget. So single child widget, they take only one child, just as it sounds. And then we have another type of widget. We call it a multiple child widget. So multiple child widget, or what you can call multiple children, they call it multiple child widget. For it accepts more than what? More than one widget. Okay, so as we proceed, we shall be able to understand what are these widgets and how can we relate to them. So in this case, I'm going to create here what we call a column widget. So what is the advantage of column widget? A column widget will help me to add multiple things in my what? In my home menu. So let's go ahead and remove this sample data, and then go ahead and put column. Okay, so I write their column like this. So as I've said, column, it will take what we call children. So children means that it's going to take an array. So you see, it's a square bracket. So in that square bracket, we're going to put different things that we're going to use to practice. So the first thing that we're going to put there is the what? Is the text, okay? So to put their text, just simply put the text and say here, my simple menu. Alright, so if I say my simple menu and I save it, I'll be able to see it there. However, it is in the form of column, meaning that we can be able to take more than one what? More than one child. So after that, so we're going to go ahead and see how we can add more things there. Just give me a minute, just only 1 minute, and then I come back. Just an emergency here. Okay. All right. So now, as I've told you that a column or a column widget, it will support multiple children. It will support more than one thing. Okay. So I can add here, for example, here another thing I can add here, and say my simple my simple menu too. So you see, there are two things that are in the same column. So that's what we call a multi-child column that can take multiple children. So all right, so we're going to practice different things. We're going to practice different things. Okay, so what we're going to begin with, we're going to begin what we call text styling. Okay, so we're going to see how we can style our text, and then after we shall go to container styling, and we learn how we can also style our containers. All right, so to do so, I'll just simply come here and just say list style. So list style is also another Flutter widget that can help us to design things in form of a list style with simplicity. So the advantage of a list style is that you can be able to design you can be able to design a list item without too much hassle. So if I come and put here a list style, I go ahead and put, for example, what I want the user to see. Okay, what I want the user to see. So we call that one a title. Okay, so in this title, we say that we're going to learn how to style containers. So how we style text. So I can just simply go ahead and put text as a widget, and then I go ahead and say text styling. Okay, so if I save, you'll see that I have the list item there. Okay, I hope you can see it clearly. Let me zoom a little bit. I hope you can see it. You have that list style there. So after doing so, the next thing that I can do, I can go ahead and do what? I can go ahead and add the explanation of this list style. So to add the explanation, we call it subtitle. Okay, so subtitle will also take a widget. So I return the text. And I put learn how to do what? How to style the text in Flutter. So if I save, you'll see here it will come as as an explanation to the to the title. So I can go ahead and add something called leading. So leading is something that will be in the front page here. In the front of of the content of the list style. So I go ahead and put leading, and then I say circular avatar, and then I put child of an icon of text format. So if I save, I'll have something like that. So this circular avatar, it gives us a circular shape, and then inside that circular shape I add an icon, and then I call the icon of text format. So this one, it shows us that we can just simply design such a beautiful interface with in well organized way without even hard coding it by ourselves. So that is called leading. Okay, that's called leading. So we can add another one called trailing. Okay, so trailing, it is the one that will be at the end this side of the list. Okay, so I can go ahead and put that trailing like that. So you have that kind of beautiful list. I believe you have seen these kind of lists before, where I have the title, the explanation, and then the icon, the relevant icon, and then the action button. So that is the advantage of a list style. You can build things with simplicity without too much hassle. You can as well go ahead and find out more parameters that a list style can do what? Can take. They are here. So let's proceed now. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make this list style to be clickable in a way that if someone clicks on it, I should be able to do what? To know that they have clicked on this list style. So to do that, I'll just simply come here and put what you call on tap. Just next to the tiling, you can just simply put on tap. Okay? So on tap, you'll open curly bracket. You'll open normal brackets and then open curly bracket and close them. So on tap, the advantage of on tap is it will be able to know when someone has actually clicked on this particular icon. Right now, if I click here, I cannot even see that there is feedback. You cannot even see that I have clicked on it. However, if I put on tap, then you should be able to do what? To know that we have clicked. So you see, now when I click on it, it is doing what? It is showing that you have clicked. So if you want to test and see if it is actually clicking, you can just simply put here print and just say you have pressed text style. So I can as well do that. So if I save, okay, if I save and then come and click here, you can see that if we go to the console here, this is our console, you can see that we're able to know that someone has clicked on this. All right, so that is how we design the application. So we proceed to what? We proceed to now the real styling page. So again, create a styling page, okay, a text styling page or a text styling screen, so that if someone clicks here, they should be taken to that styling screen. All right. So let's go ahead and create it. Okay. So to create it, it's not just going to be much more like this one. Okay. However, I can create afresh. So I'll come here to my project and then I come here to screens section. Okay. So I can go ahead and say new file. Okay. So out of saying new file, we go ahead and give the name of the file that we want to. So I can say maybe text styling text styling screen .dat. Alright, so that's going to be my second file here. And in this, I'm going to create a stateless widget. So here I say stateless and press enter and then paste there the name that I want to be mentioned as stateless widget. So yeah, so that is it. So I go ahead and import those packages and you can see that we have here a text styling widget with a what? With a builder, with a placeholder in each builder. So let me go ahead and show you how you can call this text styling widget to to this main home. So that means if someone clicks on this home, they should be taken to text styling widget. So that's what we're going to do in the what? In the next lecture. Alright, so in the next session. So alright, can I get now your questions if they're there before we go for a break? I'd like to get your question on what I've just done right now. And then we go for a short break and come back. Anyone with the question, please? Did you understand everything? Members, are you there?